Welcome back, Kiss Army, to another episode of We Are One.
You wanted the best and you got the best, the hottest channel in the land. We are one. Here I am and here you are. Welcome to the show and welcome to Psycho Circus Kiss Army as we dive into the void of Kistery. Here at We Are One, Kistery will be preserved with interviews both old and new and the breaking news you need. Now, let's go shout it out loud. Paul Stanley in an interview he gave with Guitar World, talking about how Gene is really an underrated bass player. Alright, so let's get into this. So the question that Paul was asked when interviewed by Guitar World recently this year in 2020 was, you've known Gene almost half a century. Had you not met him, would you have been able to accomplish everything that you have? Paul's response was somewhat different, somewhat humbling. It goes, I can't imagine having accomplished a fraction of what I've accomplished without Gene. It was clear to me early on that we should be together in spite of whatever differences there are in our personalities. And let me also say that Gene, perhaps because of his personality and a desire to incite emotions in people, has really not gotten the accolades that he deserves as a bass player. The fact that he plays what he plays and sings at the same time, and that the roots of his playing are so classic, it's like Ron Wood when he was with Jeff Beck or Paul McCartney or Jack Bruce. He's just a terrific bass player, and when he puts his mind to it, he's a terrific songwriter. So I'm well aware that we created and built together could never have been done by either of us alone. And the older we get, I think the more we covet and cherish that. A really humbling response from Paul Stanley. And I think that Paul and Gene both, everybody in Kiss at this point has really mellowed with age and has really understood that their egos have kind of, not gone away completely, but have really kind of dialed it down. As opposed to the Spinal Tap 11, they're maybe now at a nice modest 6, 7, 8, something like that. They've gone down quite a bit. And I think Paul praising Gene on his ability to play bass is amazing. And I agree with Paul that Gene has never ever gotten the recognition as a bass player he deserves, because when you think of Gene Simmons, you think of the Kiss makeup and you think of his tongue. You don't think of the fact that Gene plays some really stellar bass lines, especially on Revenge. Especially Gene's bass lines are phenomenal, and a lot of that early Kiss stuff, Gene's bass is ridiculously good. And not to mention the fact that when Kiss is doing their live show, Gene's breathing fire, he's still singing, he's jumping up and down, especially in like 1976. You can go watch all of the Kissology stuff on that. And Gene's hopping up and down, playing bass and singing at the same time while keeping the audience entertained. And Gene as a bass player, I think, will always be something that he's completely underrated for. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be the case. Hopefully, especially like with the Gene Simmons band, when Gene was doing those shows, you really got to see his musicianship. And the fact that Gene is an excellent underrated bass player. He is just so good, and I encourage all of you, if you never got to go see the Gene Simmons Band live, hopefully Gene brings that back after the end of the road tour, because he was taking out the what is now Ace's band, and they are just phenomenal. I believe they're called the Rock and Roll Experience, and they're just an excellent group of musicians, big Kiss fans who know how to play everything, and they were having Gene bring out some rare cuts. I know the show that I saw him at, I believe Gene played Sweet and Dirty Love for the first time, the show that I went to and got to see of the Gene Simmons Band, and they're just pulling out crazy stuff, and they made certain songs that you'd never see with Kiss a staple in the set, such as Charisma and Watching You at this point. And it's just excellent to see that Paul giving Gene the accolades that he finally deserves. However, you got to take note that Paul does get his little kind of a backhanded slap in when he says, and when he puts his mind to it, he's a terrific songwriter, which I don't think anybody's going to dispute. Put my log in your fireplace. All of the Gene-isms that you want to put in there. Paul is not wrong about this. When Gene wants to write an amazing song, he can. And I think all of Gene's songs, Paul's songs are good the second you hear them. I think Gene's songs just get better with age. Especially, when he was writing stuff on Revenge. Unholy was really good. Paralyzed is good, Dominoes, excellent. All of those things. And then, Gene in the 80s, while Kiss, less popular in the 80s, Gene still turned out some really excellent songs on there, like Fits Like a Glove and Not for the Innocent. All of those songs, really good, really good. Vinny had a hand in writing a lot of these, but Gene is really underrated, I think, all around as a musician, songwriter, because he's known as Gene Simmons. He's Kiss, he's the best, he's all about money, etc., etc. But it's just really nice to see Paul take this angle and really praise Gene for his abilities as a musician. And I think that Paul really understands that without either one of them, they really are 50%. Like, Ace says, two sides of the coin. Each of them make up one of those sides of the coin. Let me know what you guys think about Paul's comments in the comment section down below. I think Gene's an underrated musician, and I'm going to stick my guns to that. I don't think he'll ever be given the proper praise he deserves. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Remember, God bless you, and God gave rock and roll to you.
God bless you all.